Hello, and welcome to Advance Rehabilitation Services. My name is Maria Duran, and I am a board-certified occupational therapist. Today, we will be talking about how to bandage your leg. It's been a topic that has been requested by many of my clients because they're having some difficulty finding some good videos to perform self-bandaging as part of their decongestive phase of lymphedema or lipo-lymphedema or flibo-lymphedema therapy. Now I would like to show you the products you will be needing for the bandaging of your lower extremity. So first we have here a cream. It could be a cream of your choice, but it's preferred that you have a cream that is pH balanced, fragrance free, as is much better for your skin. Then we have TG9, which is a type of protective layer, and it's like a sleeve that you will have to put to the entire leg, from the foot all the way up to your thigh, if you need to bandage your thigh as well. I'll show you piece by piece the lower extremity or the legs bandaging, okay? But for now, these are the products that you're gonna need. Then for the lower part of your leg, you're gonna need foam, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers of bandaging, 2 rolls of toe bandages, Artoflex, which is a synthetic cotton that is going to help protect the skin of your feet by not allowing the shearing of the toe bandages onto the front part of your foot. You'll understand it better when I show you how this is done. Now for the thigh part of your leg, you will need another foam and 3 bandages that it all depends on how big the leg is. Some people may need more than 3, especially if a condition called elephantiasis, which is a very large limb, a very large leg, is present. There are other products as well that you can use to address that type of condition that is part of lymphedema. And but for now, we'll use these bandages. I also have masking tape, which I find it to be much better than other types of tape, like paper tape, to keep the bandages together. We do not use butterflies to keep the bandages together, especially if the bandages are against the skin, because the skin of somebody with lymphedema is very prone to infections. We try to keep anything that is sharp away from the skin as much as possible. And obviously we need a pair of scissors to cut the stuff that we need to cut. For example, the TG9. Okay, so now we have the foam. This foam has a butterfly, as you can see here, okay? I am gonna keep it on the side and I'm gonna show you why in a minute, okay? So I'm gonna put the foam on my foot, starting here. And I gotta make sure that it goes around. And it covers my ankle as well. I'm gonna make sure that it's not all the way down to the floor. Okay, so it shows the ankle still. Okay. Okay, so it's around the ankle. Now we're gonna go diagonally. So kind of like a slant, not on a straight line, not like this. More like this, okay? So it's a diagonal. And it's gonna overlap about 25–50%. I'm overlapping about 25% right now, okay? And I end up here. And now I'm gonna use the butterfly, okay? And I make sure to clip it here like this, just to hold the foam in place. okay? Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start with the bandaging of the foot. So the first layer, this is a 6 centimeter by 5 meter bandage. You're gonna anchor it at your lower part of your leg. It goes around, and then you're gonna go to the foot. It's gonna go below the foot, around the foot, and again around the ankle. And you're gonna repeat the process. And you can straighten up some of those wrinkles as you go. And again, I'm not pulling hard, okay? I'm just giving it enough of a tuck to give it a little bit of a stretch, okay? You don't need to pull it hard. That's just gonna cut your circulation. You're not gonna be comfortable. You're not gonna be comfortable. Goes around. You can straighten it up with your fingers. I'm covering the heel of my foot, okay? I have to cover more of the back. I still have more bandaging. And I go around again. Now I'm covering the area of that it was open here. Okay, I'm covering it. And I'm going around and under the foot again. This is all, as you can see, in the part that is closer to your lower leg, okay? I'm not gonna go to the front of the foot yet. That's gonna be the next layer. So right now we're concerned about covering the part of your foot that is closer to your leg. And I end here. Now you're gonna take the next layer. This is an 8 centimeter by wide by 5 meter long. And I'm just gonna anchor it here. Before I start with that, I gotta mention that for some people, it's just easier to put a piece of the tape to hold these in place, to hold these bandage in place. I usually don't do that, but it's not to say that you should not do it. It's completely up to you, okay? I just don't like to do it because when you take it off, it's so much easier not to have all that tape all over your bandages, and also preserves your bandages much better. So I'm gonna go around my ankle first to anchor the bandage, and now I'm gonna go towards the front of my foot like this. Okay, now any foam that I find that it might be too far out, I can tuck it in under the bandage. As you can see here, there is a little bit sticking out. You don't have to be, to such a maniac like I am, tucking that little piece in. If it doesn't bother you, it's fine. It's a preference kind of a thing. But if it's sticking all the way out, you obviously want to make sure that that piece is hidden. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna go all around the foot, the front part of your foot, and then you're gonna come back and you're gonna anchor it again at the furthest part of your ankle, or your lower leg, excuse me. Then you're gonna go around your foot again, making sure you take care of all those wrinkles, making it as neat as possible. Oops, I went a little bit higher on the pinky side of my toe. There we go. I'm not pulling too hard or too far. Making sure I take care of those wrinkles here. Here we go. And I go here again on the bottom of my leg. And I don't have much to go, so what I'll do is I'll finish up by going just towards the center of my foot, like this. Obviously taking care of those wrinkles, because I'm not pulling it too tight. Now I'm gonna put it a little bit just to place it, make it a little higher so it hides under the other bandages I'm gonna be putting on. Now I'm gonna use a 10 centimeter width by 5 meter bandage. That's my third layer. Again, I'm gonna anchor it around the lower part of my lower leg. And now this one is gonna go up your lower leg. Okay, and I'm gonna overlap about 50%, meaning this is the width, I'm gonna overlap right in the middle. Okay, that's 50% overlap. And I'm giving it a little bit of a tug so it sits flush, but I'm not pulling hard. Now, when you get up to the top, and I have this butterfly here, as you remember, I used it to anchor the, or to keep the foam secured. I'm gonna remove it. I'm gonna set it aside, and I'm gonna keep putting the bandage on me. Again, 50% of the way of the width of the bandage to cover everything. And then you can go back down. Just make sure that you just have it sitting on your leg. And you can use this again, the butterfly, to secure the bandage, or if you prefer not to, just use a piece of the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna apply the 12 centimeter wide by 5 meter long bandage. And as always, we're gonna start here at the most distal part of your leg, the furthest part of your leg, lower leg. And this is also gonna be, this is what's called a herringbone, or it's called a figure of 8 application. So instead of starting like this, like the other bandages, you're gonna start like this, diagonally, okay? Similar to when you were doing, or we were doing the foam, okay? So once you apply it like this, you hold it with the other hand, you go in the back of your leg, and now you're gonna bring it down. And you're gonna go through the back again, and now you're gonna bring it up. So you see it's going like this. It's not like this, it's like this. And then you go through the back of your leg, and you're gonna bring it down. And you see how it's forming that X? You go through the back of your leg, bring it up, and you go around, back of your leg, and bring it down. Back of your leg, you fix some of those wrinkles, and bring it up, around, and down. You see how it's forming those X's? And around, and up. And now you can secure it again, either with the butterfly or tape. I prefer the butterfly, so I'm gonna use the butterfly. And I'm anchoring it there. Okay, and that's how it looks. Now, the final product is gonna be another 10 centimeter by 5 meter bandage. And this is how you're gonna seal everything. So you're gonna start at your foot. You're gonna go around your foot like this. And you're gonna cover every single part of your foot and leg. Now you're gonna go your ankle, making sure there are no wrinkles. This is kind of like a protective layer. It's almost like wearing a sleeve on top of everything. And I'm not pulling on it. I don't want it tight or anything. Like I said, it's mostly like a protective layer, and it's gonna be like a 50% overlap. I'm gonna remove my butterfly now that I'm here. Hold this secure. making sure I don't have wrinkles. And we got here. And this is how we end. I'm applying the butterfly just to hold it in place, but I'm going to use my trusty tape. Again, you can use transport tape, but I prefer to use this type of tape. And here you're gonna put a couple of pieces. So put at the top and the bottom first to secure it. And then I remove the butterfly now that those two ends have been secured, and I apply a couple more layers of this tape to ensure that this part of my leg does not become undone if I start moving or exercising. And this is how you do the lower part of your leg. Feels like a soft cast. You still can move. Okay. It might look very restrictive, but the reality is that you can still move in it. I can still move my leg. Okay. And next we're going to do the thigh part of your leg. Okay, now we're going to start with the bandaging of your thigh. Okay. So I have another foam, and what I need to do is I just want to make sure that my knee is bent just a tiny bit. It doesn't have to be fully bent or fully extended or fully straight, okay? Because what's going to happen is when you start moving, the foam is going to kind of like move to accommodate for your knee. So just a tiny bit of bend at your knee is okay. So I'm going to start with the foam just below my knee. So it's going to go on top of my closer part of my lower leg, and then I'm going to go around. Again, it's going to be diagonally. It's not going to be straight like the bottom you see here. It's a line straight, and this one is kind of like slanted, okay? So I'm going to go like this, and again, it's overlapping about 25%. For this, I may need to stand up to show you better. Okay, and it should cover all the way up to your upper part of your thigh. So this is okay for me. And now I'm going to use the butterfly to secure the foam in place. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to use, these are all 12 centimeter wide by 5 meter long. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll start on top of the foam part that is here by my leg, my lower leg, covering it. Again, I'm not pulling tightly. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to go around and around. And it's overlapping about 25%. I'm going to remove the butterfly out of the way. Put it near me because I'm going to use it again. Getting rid of some of those wrinkles. I'm going to make sure that I pull these sleeve all the way up so it's not all wrinkled inside my bandaging. Making sure it's staying flushed and fixing it a bit. Okay, I'm going to hide this part of the foam that it was sticking out. Okay, you just fix it like that. And I'm going to use my butterfly again to hold it in place. Again, you can always use tape as well, as mentioned before. Fix it a tiny bit, making sure wrinkles are taken care of. And as you can see, I'm able to pull it because it's not so tight, okay? It's just sitting there Okay, the next layer is going to be the diagonal layer, like we did it before with the lower part of the leg. So it starts here, just below your knee, in this fashion. As you can see, is like this, is not straight like a line, like a straight line. And we're going to go, is down, around, and down again. And you're going to pull it up. Your knee bends a little bit, fixing the wrinkles. You may need to pull it up a little bit so it stays a little bit more flush against your skin. This is a different type of application. And now that I'm here and I have my butterfly, I'm going to remove it. Put it here. Again, you can always use tape if that makes you feel comfortable, so you don't have to keep taking it off, putting it on, taking it off. This is just my preference. Making sure it sits flushed. And up. And here we are. Okay. And finally, I'm going to use the last layer. And this one is just going to put everything together. It's going to cover it, just like the last layer we had in the lower part of the leg. Just to keep everything protected. Making sure I get rid of those wrinkles. I finish here. I'm gonna have my butterfly here. And now I have my tape. Same thing, we're gonna make sure the top and the bottom. Make sure we secure it. Good. Remove the butterfly. And I put a couple of layers there. You can make them longer. And then you can pull the rest of your protective layer all around, as you can see. And inside my thigh here. And I'm just gonna fold it over. Okay. And as you can see, I can walk around with it. I can move my leg. It's a little bit restrictive, that's for sure. But that doesn't stop me from sitting on a chair and performing my exercises. As you know, exercising is very important when you have lymphedema, to keep all that fluid moving out of the way. So these are my sit to stand exercises. You can do some air squats if you can, right? You can do some leg lifts, marching in place, very important. And you can do heels up, holding onto a surface. Okay. And all of those exercises that are being prescribed by your therapist. If you have any questions, please let me know. And this is how bandaging your lower extremity or your leg is. I hope you found this video informative. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. And I look forward to working with you on your path to better health.